Good evening, everyone. This is my story. This is a story about my personal how dealing with my personal trauma helped me get on a path to sustainability. Thank you all for listening. This is me at 4. I was part of a loving, traditional family in 1980s England. Mom stayed at home. Dad went out to work. I was happy, energetic, and full of life. A few years later, at age 8, I had a very big head and with very little heart. By the age of 16, I was top of my class and I was leaving home to become a professional soccer player. I was also an impulsive addict and exhausted. At 19, I came over here to the States, and by 32, I was a robot. I was unconscious, one-track minded, and extremely unhappy. Then in 2015, as I was rushing through life, I decided to give meditation a try. And it opened me up to counseling with my wife, and that was really helpful. Talking felt really good. Then, a year later, my whole life blew up. My wife and I separated. A few days later, I was fired from my job. I blamed my ex-wife, I blamed the owner of the company, and I blamed my mom for my inability to connect with women. I started to look at myself and the role I was playing, and I had been given some time to explore it. Then 18 months later, my mom passed away at 62. I'd barely spoken to her since the end of my marriage. Then, while giving her a eulogy, I finally saw her as she was rather than what I'd made her out to be. A young mother of 3 doing the very best she could. I was devastated and cried openly in front of a large group of people. But I started to create space in my life. I quit my job and started working for myself. I went, in honor of my mom, I went to an event called Reimagining Masculinity. I sat next to a young woman and got to know her, and I found out her name was Wendeline. I saw a documentary called Trip of Compassion. It's where PTSD, as patients with severe PTSD are treated with MDMA and counseling. I burst into tears as I watched. I had PTSD. Then I went on a 2-week survival skills course in the wild. I reconnected with nature, with animals, and with my mom. I cried more than I ever have. I left feeling reconnected with my mom and very anxious to see my world, Kira, Dodger, and Bailey. I did a week in ayahuasca retreat. I was able to connect with access my childhood trauma and the root of my problems. I reconnected with myself and cried some more. Then I tried mushrooms with Kira watching over me, and I opened up and started talking to her about things I'd never shared with anyone else before. I'm still sharing now. So now, after my mom passed away, she left a few diaries. I decided to read them in the hopes of getting to know her better. And I came across a nickname I'd never heard before. It was Wendeline. I signed up for this a month ago. I immediately started to second guess myself. Received the acceptance email from the organizers, Wendy and Tracy. And Wendy is my dear mother, and Tracy is my ex-wife. So thank you all for listening. I really, truly appreciate you all, and I hope each of you feels like sharing your own story, unique story. Thank you.
You need to clarify that it's not actually me